Hi, Juliana.
Hi.
Hi.
Walter, hello. I'm already here. I see her, Laura from here because I am in the CIDOC, so I am in the open space because there's a lot of sounds around. I don't find the room, so.
But you can hear me?
Yes, completely. Yeah, I can hear it, and you hear me. Okay.
Yes, excellent.
Okay.
You are only at the moment. Should you wait some minutes?
Sorry, sorry. Now I let me up. Can you repeat, please? Because the.
Okay. Now you are the only participant at the moment.
I see. Yes, I think I am just the one that loves procedures.
Yes, I have no problem to start with one participant, but we could wait 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, we can wait a little bit. If someone go to the yes, no problem for me.
Are you from Portugal or from Brazil?
I live in Portugal. But I'm Brazilian, but I live in Portugal a long time. So I'm Portuguese too.
Yes. Now, I did a presentation in Sao Paulo some years ago.
Yes, I did. What was the time that make work there? It was about procedure. But at this time, I already been living Portugal. So it's a long time that I lived there. And now I'm working in museums at Portugal too. So and my next presentation will be from Portugal.
Okay. And you are interested in the topic, apparently.
Because I did my PhD in use the procedures of spectrum to make an evaluation. I did evaluation from a benchmark. I did a benchmark from procedures to the professionals make a self-assessment to make better. So I always use the procedures like a reference and not as methodologies. And I work now in museum to standard procedures and standard databases. So my work and my studies is also about standardization in different levels, and procedures is one of them. So for me is the area that I'm very interested to learn more and develop something to learn. And now I am at the Natural History Museum of University of Porto. So I have a totally different kind of collections. I have zoology, archaeology, ethnography. You can choose everything because there is collections from the old departments that they put all together. So my work is try to make the all the curators and researchers try to make a standardizations, the procedures, the terminology, the data structure, to try to put connection for the data from the different kind of collections. So procedures is the process is the fundamental for everything.
So you have experience with spectrum.
Yes, I participate from the translated 4.0 to Portuguese with Alexandre, and now I am the working group, always in the working group. I'm the working group that is translation 5.0. So yes, with spectrum I am familiar, yeah. And I use it a lot with a reference in my work all the time.
Now we started our experiments, I would say, with version 3. So version 3 was a very consolidated standard because the procedures have to be harmonized with the information groups and with also data structures. That was an excellent thing. And we did, and my programmers and my developers did some analysis and did cross-checking everything, every procedure with each data element. And it was excellent. It was an excellent framework. It was a little bit lost in version 4.
Yes, but at version 5 they put together again.
Yeah, but 3, I think I looked in version 5 now, and 3 is still a good basis.
Yes, I'm familiar with 3.2. The 3 I didn't read, but 3.2 I use with reference sometimes.
Yeah, 3.2 was the last version of 3. That was the best thing, and it was an XML construct, and it was really good. Probably we can discuss something later on. So, one of my students did a master's thesis in the business process management, and I gave him as an example Spectrum. Okay. And we converted all the Spectrum procedures, the main procedures and the other procedures, around 21 or 22 procedures at this time, into business process management notation. Okay. It was, and this is a working group about. So I was quite enthusiastic that this might be used in the museums, but unfortunately there was not so much interest in the computerization and automation. But I think the future will come. Yes. So at the moment it's more paperwork, you see, in Spectrum and the guidelines, but it's not so much implemented as a standard. You can be compliant with your procedures, but the procedures themselves are not really implemented in this way, like it is later. So at the end, we made the framework where we tried to make a foundation for developing a collection management software. Okay. So to make a generalized specification for collection management software. So we have the data elements, the metadata elements, and you have the procedures. And then if you put both together, then you have a collection management system.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the situation in Germany.
Germany, no. Portugal, I know the situation. Germany, no.
In my previous position, I'm now in pension, you see. I was a university professor, but I was head of a research institute, which developed a collection management software, which after a while became standard in Baden-Württemberg. That is one member state of Germany. I think they have around 10 million people. And this software is using all over at all museums in this country. So that was controlled by the government. So that is my experience, where my experience comes from. So I already have developed such things. And then I wanted to introduce standards. And if you want, we can now start this presentation. I hope I can handle Zoom correctly. I have a small 3 slides identifying this working group. And then I have a presentation about the processes. And if you have time and if you're interested, then I can show you a web-based tool where you can set up these procedures.
Okay, yes.
It's an editor. I don't know if you know flowcharts.
Yes.
If you know programming, you know flowcharts.
Programming, I did a few classes because after I'm a history background, but before history, I make physics, but I didn't finish it. I did it in Brazil. It was 5 years. I did it 3 years. So I have basic program, but 20 years ago, it's language C. It's not anymore. So I understand the logic of programming, but I'm not programming. I didn't know to do how to program it. I'm the museology area, museum area, but I have no problem to try to understand the logic because I have this background and at the physics. And I did the. It was university at Brazil that named Unicamp. I don't know the name. That have it is computer science, math, and is together 1.5 years, and I did this common disciplines.
Okay, so flowchart is no problem. We have a certain.
It's no problem. Yeah.
Okay, so I try now to switch to these 3 slides introducing this working group. I think you can see it now. Can you see it?
No.
Okay. But you should see it now.
No, not yet. If you want, I ask Laura is here to help us.
Oh, no, sorry, it was my fault. You should see now the first slide.
Yes, I'm seeing. Yeah.
Okay. You see, it's a working group which was funded some years ago, and the target was to bring into implementation any standard which is based on procedures. That, as we discussed before, the Spectrum was a candidate being implemented in a software environment. And the objective is, you can read it now, design implementation of reference workflows for main business processes is found in museums. And you see a small outline of graphic below. You have 2 rectangles here. One is called depositor on the left side. I think you can see my cursor now. Can you see my cursor? Yeah.
Yes, but maybe smaller because I see part of the right part of the presentation I didn't see. When there is the orange part with the clouds, I can see that there is a line. Yes, okay. Now I'm seeing. Okay.
You can see it now better, probably.
Yes.
Yes, I have switched from the full screen to standard mode. It's better for you now. Can you see everything?
Yes, I can read. Yeah.
Okay. Now you have 2 pools. So if you speak about procedures, we have also owners of a procedure. So you have different roles. Okay. For example, if you have an object entry process, it starts normally with a depositor, some person or some organization donating or buying or selling some cultural good to the museum. And the role of this person or of this organization is called depositor. That's where I have the cursor now. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see.
The cursor now. And the depositor has specific tasks to do. And task is a part of a procedure. That we can divide the procedure in steps. And now we have some steps here. I don't know if you can read it, but the first task here is prepare an object and deposit the information and send it to the museum.
Yes, maybe if a little more, a little more. It's 99%, maybe 105. I could read better. To read, I can do this, but I can read.
Should I make it bigger?
A little bigger, bit more bigger, please.
I think
Yes,
that's the maximum.
yes. I can read
it's
now.
Better now.
Yes, for me, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have different steps, different tasks dedicated to person. One is a depositor. And depositor prepares object information before he or she sends it to the museum. Then we have another organization or person, that's a museum.
Okay.
The museum can be divided in different departments. The acquisition department, the registry, and other things. But I only make museum here. So we have now an interaction between the depositor and the museum. And this interaction is now identified by this dotted line. You see this dotted line here?
Yes.
This dotted line means a new object is available. That's a message which the depositor sends to the museum.
Okay.
Can you see it here?
Yes.
So the museum gets an email or something, receives and manages a letter, and receives and manages information which comes from a depositor.
Yes.
And then that's in line with spectrum, you see? Yes. The first thing what the museum has to do, the registrar, for example, consult a checklist. And we have analyzed all checklists from spectrum, and we have numbered the checklist. And this checklist is called C01. So if you are really interested, I can give an Excel sheet where all this is identified. In this checklist, you can look if this object is in line with the mission statement or the collection policy of a museum.
Okay.
And then the museum presents
information. Okay. Prepare information sent to the depositor, recipient, accept. There's another. So, are you hearing me? Sorry. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Now it's come back. It was freeze.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, and I'm seeing the.
You heard us. I can hear Mr. Walter. Yeah.
I still have a bit of some network challenges. I think I have to move and see where I can get you clearly.
I don't know if it was you, so maybe it is Mr. Walter, because freeze his image and I can hear you well.
Hello.
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 I'm hearing now.
Uh,
The image is freeze, but I can hear.
Probably I leave and enter again.
Okay. I will enter again. Yes.
Wait.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. What did you get? It's the last thing I was talking.
The lesson was
I
when
was explaining.
the fluxo, shark. I forgot the name in English. The chart. As
Okay,
well
the
was,
cat.
yes, and was the accepted from the museum. But we have the checklist that Mr. Walter told me that there is the formula C1 that have to fill after that, come back to the depositor. And that's part that I don't understand, because the museum has to give the probation or not give the probation. It's automatic, or it's a step in the checklist maybe.
Yes, you see, there might be a program where all the points are on the screen, and you can cross. Is this in line with the policy and so on?
Okay.
If you look into spectrum procedures, you have these checklists, these terms already somewhere written down.
Okay.
It was in version 3 of Spectrum.
Okay, I look. I have
all the points.
I can open.
Yes, if you need version 3.
I have 3.2. It could be 3.
Okay, yes.
Is this
No, in 3.2 it's described. This checklist is described in Spectrum. So this I can send to you if you want. It was only an example.
Okay.
But if it's an object is not in line with your collection policy, then you are refusing this. And then you tell the depositor, I don't need this.
Okay.
So that was only this example, you see. That was the first dialogue with the depositor, which was formalized.
Okay. It was the entry procedure or pre-entry procedure.
It is pre-entry. It is a pre-entry procedure.
Okay.
The entry procedure was slightly modified in the last version, I think.
Okay.
And the pre-entry was something I had some years ago discussion with people from Spectrum, from Collection Trust. And they said this pre-entry came up because the object entry was not enough. So it was something more that was measured at this time.
Okay, I already opened the 3.2 that I have here, and I'm seeing now the
okay. You have probably a checklist.
Yes, I see now. Yes, it's mid of my screen, please, so I can see there.
Okay, yeah. you see it.
Yes.
Okay.
Measurement against the organization acquisition policy. Okay, that happens.
There are 6 points you have to look.
Yes.
And in this experiment we had already implemented this. So it was on a screen, and then you would be able to cross it, and then the procedure came along.
Okay.
So everything what you have seen now in this slide, which I have, it's not shown anymore, was implemented. So we call in the informatics term an execution engine, which is processing this workflow. So this workflow can be computerized and can be run by a computer.
Oh.
And the challenge here is that out from this concept, from what you have seen, these graphics, you can press a button and then a program is generated. And this program is exactly controlling this workflow.
Oh, that's good.
And at the moment, it's not too far away. You know, people are already using this. And I'm also involved in medical business. And for example, in medicine, if you have to do surgeries on patients, then you need specific standards. That is called clinical pathway.
Okay.
So we have a clinical pathway, how to do an operation, how to do a surgery. And then if you want to compare hospitals, you should set up standards. And the first thing to do is to harmonize surgeries, to introduce standards. You don't have the standards like you have in Spectrum. There are some standards in the medical business, but they are not really demanded. So they call it golden standard if they're doing something. Okay, I only want to tell that these standards these procedures are quite important in administrations, for example. It's not only museums. And now people are trying to computerize this because many of these workflows are in the head of curators. So the curator knows it, or the administrative person knows it. But if this person is not available, this knowledge is gone. So to preserve this knowledge, you have to put it into a computer. Since the computer can do it. It's an interesting discussion. It's probably some people don't like it because the computer tries to take over some task of the human being.
Not only that, I think there's a lot of problem too, because anyone has to be the only way. It's a difficult, that I work at the museum, try then to understand that making the connections have to be a dialogue by the data. So the procedures can do that, but there's a difficult in my museum, in all the museums that I work, that sensibilization to try to understand what the room when you make these procedures step by step like that, standardize it. So
you know, the computer can tell you what to do. If it's a standard procedure, the computer can say, now it's your turn, to have to do this and that. And it gives a reminder to you. So can control the business much better.
Yeah.
And if you have time, I can show you the software which is on the web.
Yes, I really love to see. Yeah.
It was developed by a spin-off of SAP. I don't know if you know SAP. SAP is a big software company worldwide.
No, I don't know.
Okay, no, that's in the commercial parts. It is like Microsoft, you see.
Okay,
it's a big company. So I only want to tell there are very competent people working on this. But we can later come to this. I try now to switch on my presentation. That was only an introduction, this moment. And please interrupt me if I'm too fast or something.
No. Okay.
I cannot speak, understand it or something. I try now to show you the presentation. So. Sorry, it's still not. Can you see it now? You see my whole screen now.
Yes, but it's black yet. I think it's, now I'm seeing, yes.
Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see.
Can you see the whole screen now?
Yes, I'm seeing the whole screen, yes.
Okay, so that's my presentation now. You see the agenda? That's okay?
Yeah, for me, yes, it's okay.
Okay. So what is my presentation about? I will introduce you and explain the basic definition, the requirements in the museum domain. I will show you a use case that is modeling the object entry. And I have to tell you, this was a face-to-face presentation. So I did it some years ago in Milan. And then I have given people some exercises. So it was a group work. This we cannot do now in the virtual environment. So I'm passing this, but you can do this group work if you want at home somewhere else. And then we can discuss something. You can see the next slide. Yes. We have I will try to explain some terminology. We have standard operating procedures. It is called SOAP. So SOAP is a standard term, not only used in museums. It is specific in medicine and so on. We have SOAPs. And this is a set of step-by-step instructions. And this step-by-step instruction helps you to fulfill the target of a business. And the step-by-step instruction helps the worker, in our case, the worker are curators, the people, the catalogers, and so on, to carry out routine operations. We'll give you a guideline for a routine operation. And the purpose is to achieve efficiency, quality output, and uniformity of performance. That is very important. Efficiency, quality, and uniformity of performance. So if you have 3 people, 3 cataloger, then every cataloger should follow the same rule. So uniformity of performance is quite important. And then this should help you reducing miscommunication and then to comply with industry regulations. So spectrum is something like an industry regulation. And then I come to the object entry in the term of CIDOC. There's not only spectrum. CIDOC has developed many years ago fact sheets for cataloging. And these have been the steps. You see some steps from CIDOC fact sheet. I think you are aware of this.
I am familiar with the fact sheets because we did a translation to Portuguese to these fact sheets.
Great, yes. And then you see similar things we had in Spectrum. Step 1, the object is brought.
Sorry, Miss Walter, I can't hear you. No.
I think I have, sorry, I have again logged in.
Now I'm hearing.
You hear me?
Yes, now come back. The sound
Okay.
is
There
coming.
must be some communication between Austria and Estonia.
It could be, yeah.
It's okay, so I give again. So you should, you see now the presentation again?
Yes, I'm seeing.
Okay. So you see that is another regulation from CIDOC. It's similar to Spectrum was doing. And then we come to another term, it's called business process. So the term business is not a bad thing, you see. It tells you you have to fulfill some needs of a customer, for example.
Okay.
And the business process or business method is a collection of structured activities or tasks or steps, what we have seen here, that produce a specific service or product. It's also used in the production industry, where you are producing something. And you can visualize this via a flowchart, where you can see a sequence of activities.
Okay.
You can hear me still?
Yes, I'm hearing.
Hello.
I'm hearing, yes, I'm hearing, and
sorry if I'm asking from time to time. Yes.
And there is the Shamu. I don't know if I call it right.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you too. Thanks.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. It's really the line. Sorry. What you see here in this PowerPoint, we have interleaving decision points. So you not only have steps, what you're doing, but you have to do some decision points between. And then you have rules controlling this process.
Okay.
And that's the reason I ask you a little bit about programming. It's like programming. In programming, you have steps of instructions, how to do an algorithm. And after a while, you have to decide, is the result 0 or not 0, or positive or negative?
Yes.
Okay. So I come to the next. And if we look now this object entry, then we have this step 3, prepare of the arrival of an object. So if you look in Spectrum 3.2, then we can look, step 3 is...
Okay, step 3, yes. Carry out the this is object entry. Let me go to the entry because case. Step 3, create and receive and entry in records. Okay. It's different from the 3.2. I can hear you again. Okay.
Hello. You should hear me now.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, yes. Confirm.
Okay, sorry.
I can hear you too.
Interrupted again. I don't know. I cannot send a video, but you can hear me.
No problem.
Sorry for that.
It's no problem. I understand that the flow chart that make step by step from the spectrum 3.0. So
Yes.
Mm.
You see now my slides again?
yes, I'm seeing, yes.
Yes.
We can
This
see.
is slide 7. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a part of this workflow.
Yeah.
So in step 4, make a record. And I've written here using M01. So afterwards, you will see the information groups. And making a record needs some information. It is also standardized in Spectrum.
Okay.
And we have numbered screens. We call it mask. A mask is a set of data elements you can enter. And if you enter the information provided by the depositor, you need a specific screen. And this screen is called M01 in step 4. Can you see this?
Yes, I'm seeing. I had a doubt. This record that made can be exported in an extension like she's LM, something like that, to make a connection to another management system.
I didn't understand you totally. You mean this is different, this
Sorry.
record different from in different systems?
Yes, yes. It's different. That I try to ask if it's possible to download this record after that in a format and in an extension. Sorry for the bad English. An extension that I can migrate to another management system. Like
No,
she.
that depends. Sorry, that depends on the technical system you have.
Yeah.
Below.
Yes. Yes.
You see in the screen, you have a line here with a computer symbol on the left side.
Okay. Yes.
This is we call it pool. This is a pool. We have also computerized activities. At the end, here you have programs.
Okay.
And for example, you have a procedure, a program called S02.
Okay.
And it means execute data entry mask M01 and update database. That means that is a program.
Okay.
That is a program which stores the data you are entering into a computer. For that reason, you have here in this slide 2 persons, 2 heads. You see here on the left side.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The symbol. That means on the right side you have.
Okay. I think I stopped to hear again.
I can't hear as well.
I will write down to Mr. Falter. I try to, I'm,
Hello.
hello,
Hello.
now I'm hearing again.
Yes, I have restarted.
Not a problem.
Sorry for all these things. It reminds me of the 70s and 90s last century.
Yes.
Okay. You see now my last slide.
Yes, I'm
Can you
seeing.
see?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm seeing.
You see what you see now, these two, we call it roles or pools or streamlines. You have here the pool and the task for the human being, and here you have the task for the computer.
Yeah.
And you see here S02, S03,
Yes.
that are computer programs which are doing something. And you
Oh,
see M01, this label M01, that is a screen. So you can make a mask, a data entry screen. And then you see
yes.
sorry?
R01. Yes, I'm seeing. Yes.
R01 is a report. So we try to standardize the different artifacts of the computer program. You can, out of this design, you can develop standardized computer programs for data entry, for generating reports for a museum, and so on. So that was the working group should be about. So to go beyond the specification, written specification of Spectrum, to go into detailed specification for implementation. And implementing needs to make computer programs. So we have here on the upper part, so this is part where you have receive, manage, make record, generate receipt, and so on. So that is a human task. And then below, you have the different programs doing something. We have database processing, and so on. Was I able to make me understandable?
Yes, I understand. I am understand.
Yeah, it's very clear. Thanks.
So that is more or less a specification how to write a computer program. It's the lower part. So I go ahead.
Yes.
And here you have the standard which we are going to use. It's called business process management and business process management notation. And is a discipline, it dates back in the 80s and 90s of last century, this management. And this is going to be standardized in some years already.
Okay.
And it's business activities and so on to support enterprise goals, spending systems, employees, customers, and partners. It's only a definition. You see, you have an input for something, then you have processes, and then you generate an output. That's only definition. I think the Wikipedia definition is good enough for that.
Okay.
And then we have a standard which is developed by OMG, that is the Object Management Group. I have not written it down here. They have also a wiki. And this project, this Object Management Group, that is an industrial standardization group, has developed BPMN, Business Process Management and Notation. So notation is a formalization of this graphics. And here you see an outline in the screen. You have an event. Event is something happens. You begin a process, you get an email, you receive something. You have sequence flow. That is if you have more steps, more than one step. So these steps are in the sequence. And the direction of the sequence is a sequence flow.
Okay.
Then you have here a pool. You see it here? That's pool. That covers, that is an envelope.
Okay. Stopped again.
I can't hear him as well.
Yeah. I will write down. So. Okay. Yes, but still not hearing.
So I'm here again. Can you hear me now? No, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. See, I'm hearing perfectly.
Okay.
Sorry.
I think probably the headphone works better now.
For
Hello?
me, it's perfect. Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes. You're not frustrated enough. So,
Never.
oh, okay. Sorry, it's a joke. So, the slide again, you can
Yeah.
see it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I can continue.
Yes. But
We
I,
have the pool, the swimland.
yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. You can see the slide number
Yes.
9, I think is. Yes. That's only an outline of the BPM elements that are the symbols which are standardized. You see, for example, artifacts. Can you see it on the right?
Yes.
You have a data object. A data object might be an information group in Spectrum or might be a table in a database system.
Okay.
So this you can formalize using this symbol. Then you have a text annotation. So you can make a comment to describe a procedure, for example. Then you have here gateways on the left side, decision points. You can see it?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And make the possibility to stop.
Then you have,
Like,
hello?
hello, I'm hearing.
Okay. So that's only an outline
I can
of
hear
this.
too.
Can you hear me? Then you have
Yes.
a perfect situation.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I switch to the next slide. Yes. And flowchart is one possibility to describe the processes and formalize processes.
Yes.
You can see it here.
Yes.
There's something behind. Okay.
No, I can hear you.
If you can hear me, yes. You can't or
yes.
you can?
Yes, I can't hear you. Yes. Yes.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay. You have now on my slide the symbols using for a flowchart that is
Yes.
used in 60, 70 years already, this type. You have here again a rectangle, you have an arrow, you have a diamond for decision points, then you have the rect bottom edge on the top. That was a paper, a part of a paper. It was this standard dates back to the 70s last year.
I am familiar with this kind of standards. Stopped again. The sound stopped again. Baby.
Well, at least the bacon today were not. They
Yeah, I'm hearing now. I can hear.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now I only allowed to speak 5 minutes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay, this you know everything now. You see now the spectrum procedures again.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a use case which I have discussed already several times now. You have the different steps.
Okay. And procedure. Okay.
Description of the steps, you see it. That you can read in the standard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you see now the abbreviation C01, M01, and so on. So if you're interested, I can send you this Excel sheet where all this data, but I will come later on the presentation, what's in this sheet.
Yes.
Then you have a flowchart for these steps.
Okay. Yes.
You have depositor, send notification, and so on. So if you tell a programmer to develop a program, then you could give him this flowchart. And then he can write his programs.
Yes.
And now a similar thing, again, we have here in the BPM annotation. Part of this we have already seen. That is a full process here.
Okay.
The depositor sends notification, create a consultant checklist, and so on and so on. And it ends that the depositor gets a receipt for the object. And then it goes into the property, it becomes property of the museum after the registration process.
Okay.
That's a visualization of the whole thing now.
Yes. Yes.
And that is the group work. If I would be with you, then you could get 20 minutes now to make an exercise. You can do it if you want as an exercise.
Okay.
Now we won't do it. And now I come to the spectrum artifacts. We have the spectrum descriptions. I mentioned some time before that there is an XML describing all data of spectrum used in spectrum.
Okay.
I don't know if you know XML.
Yes.
That is an XML editor where you can see you have identification consists of different data elements. You have unit name, you have description, and a simple type. It's a big sheet, you see.
Yes.
And here you have more or less the whole structure of a database. If you're going to implement all spectrum procedures, you get a database with all these data elements you see here. It's a very important. This XML is not longer available, I think. And then we come to the data connected with the different processes. And here we have, for example,
Okay.
the process object entry information. And this is the group you need for the object entry. And then you have object rights information and so on.
Okay.
This is again in spectrums, information groups. That's a printout of the printed version. You have the object number, other number. For example, if an inventory number of an other museums. if you buy something and it was inventoried, registered already in another museum, for example.
Yes.
And you have the connection, you have make a record using M01. And M01 is a data screen which gives the possibility to enter some data of this. And here you have this part of the access sheet. You have M01, that is a data entry screen we need when we enter this information which we receive from the depositor. And where you have the crosses, you see we have address information, we have data information, we have insurance information, we have object collection information, object identification information, and so on. So this data entry form, M01, covers all these different data fields. And you see here, we have already 30 data entry screens. So if you want to set up a collection management system, you can use this as a
I stopped to hear again.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I can't hear too.
Yeah, yes, I can't hear.
So, thank you for team
Yeah.
again. I only have 5 minutes.
Yes, yes, I'm hearing. Yes.
So after 5, everything over. Sorry. Now we can go ahead.
Yes, for me, yes.
Okay. Okay. You see, my programmer
can see.
did. You can see, yes. So this, what you see now on the crosswalk, that is a crosswalk between information groups and masks. It has been done by my programmers some years ago, and it was really an excellent work done by Spectrum. Everything is consistent. So we have identified 30 different entry screens, M01 to M30. And then these screens are connected to the information groups. And here you see the different information groups. And what part of the database is addressed by a data entry screen. I think you can see it here.
Yes.
And then you see
Object
in this
identity.
part,
Yes, it's the appendage of the spectrum. They have the objective identification information, so I can there see that
Yes.
what information has to be at the mask. It is this, isn't it?
Exactly. And then with modern programming tools, you can generate a data entry screen more or less automatically out of this information. But this is another topic. And for example, we have different artifacts. We have masks for data entry. We have checklists you have seen before. And then we have also vocabularies, where you have controlled vocabularies for some data entry. Okay, I go ahead to next. You have the information group. For example, object identification appears several times in the system. Or again here. And then you have the units of information you have.
Yes.
And we have connected this specification, the spectrum, the standard, to a database. On the right side, you have table and column. That is the elements of relational databases. That means we have a database which has a table called object name with some columns, name, currency, level, and so on.
Okay.
And now I come to the interesting part. Here you see a data entry screen already, which
Okay.
we generated automatically. You have here the object name, the name, vocabulary, and so on. And these are elements of the standard.
Okay.
Now, this software development, what we see here, is aligned to the specification, to a standard. And what we see here on the left side, that is
Yes.
an
Label bottle, checkbox. Okay. You can choose. I stopped again to here.
I should be here again. It's
Yes, I'm
the
here.
problem with audio. Sorry. I try to be fast now. Okay. You see now the screen?
Yes.
You see this? Yes, you see it now. I hope I can make it transparent what I want to tell you. It's to move from a standard to an implementation of a system. And this system is in line with the standard.
Okay.
And it's more or less a system generation tool, what you see here now. Okay, so here you can make screens, and the screens are containing all data elements you have in Spectrum. You have an outline here again. You have the information groups, object entry, the information units, and this screen is exactly, this graphical user interface is in line with the Spectrum standard. Is this, I think that's okay.
Yes.
And now you see it again in the diagram. So we have here as a museum, consulting a checklist, 01 and so on, and you have the mask.
Okay.
Here's a checklist. I think you have looked in the standard already. And we also have made a small implementation of a checklist. So what you see here, the checklist 01, is a screen you get on your computer where you have checkboxes, 5 checkboxes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here you can implement a decision point in the process diagram. And then you can say yes or no. You accept this object, yes or no.
Okay.
Can you see? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we can hear
no,
you.
you can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
You see again? Yes. That is a checklist what we have here. And you cannot see it here across. You have yes or no. That means you have a decision point in the workflow. And this decision point is gets the information from the acceptance button here. Yes or no. So with this screen, you are controlling the workflow. Yes, you are not so many people, so
Yes. We are not sleeping. We're not hearing again, but not sleeping.
so
Yes, and now I'm
celebrating. Yes, we are celebrating the 10th time now for reconnection. Now, the message of all my presentation was to come from a standard to an implementation of a system. That's the reason this working group is named Museum Process Implementation. So we want to really help museums, help system developer, how to use a standard and how to make a system. And if you're really interested, you have my email somewhere, and you can send me email, and I can send you a lot of information if you want. Since you only have seen a small part, I can send you the Excel sheet where you have all the crosswalks between procedures, between data entry, between information groups, for example. This might be very helpful. And even if you have Spectrum 5 now, the basic information is still valid. And if you want now, if you're not too tired with reconnecting and so on, I can show you a tool how to design this.
Yes.
It's web-based, so you should have a web browser at your hand somewhere. And I switch now to this web browser.
Okay.
You have now this tool. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
And with this tool, you can make these diagrams.
Okay, that's I didn't know. I used to use a tool like that. That's free, Lucinda charts, something like that.
Okay, yes. But this is dedicated to the BPMN, to the Business Process Modeling Notation. That's dedicated for this here. And there are also other standards, decision management, for example, and so on. Probably you note, you notify the URL bpmn.io. BPMN Business Process Modeling and Notation.io. So,
I have notes here right now.
you have it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably I give it into the chat. So here you have it. And you have an online version, you can use it online. Then click on Try Online. So you have the possibility to upload an existing diagram and work again, or create a new diagram. Let us create a new diagram. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. So you have on the left side the symbols you need for these diagrams. So preloading a starting point. Then you have, I'm hovering now, the pool. And I put now this pool, I only click on the pool and drop it to the desktop. Can you do it? Click on the pool and drop it to the desktop.
At the desktop.
No, on the right side of the browser window. I can do it again. You see, I click now on the pool symbol and drop it with the hand on the right side.
Okay.
And then you leave the mouse button. You have to press the left mouse button. Sorry, I didn't tell you. Then you have this figure. It's okay.
Yes.
Now you have the circle that is a starting point of a process, and you have a pool. And if you click with the mouse on the pool, if you make a double click, hopefully it works, then we can make a label to it,
Okay.
depositor, from my presentation. That means everything what we are putting in this rectangle, into this pool, belongs now to the tasks dedicated to the depositor.
Okay.
It's okay. Now we have a starting point.
I stopped to hear. Yes, this is a very nice tool. I'm not hearing.
It should be here again.
Yes, yes.
It's a pity. Now we have again. Oh no, sorry. Now you see the diagram as far as we came.
Okay.
You can see it now?
Yes.
In my presentation, I had another pool dedicated to the museum. So we can go to the symbol line on the left side, click on the pool, drag it here, and then I have this pool. And double clicking here, I can make a label. Label the pool called museum. Is this okay?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Then I go back to the depositor pool, and now we write what should be done. That is, I write it prepare. Prepare object and depositor information. That's what we are doing in this task. Can you still follow this?
Yes.
The noise is not on my side. And now we can, from here, make a connection to the next pool.
Okay.
And automatically ordered more beats. So it tells you how frequent they run the how to
I take now an activity, a task.
Let's get rid of them. Yes.
And now I connect the task
Okay.
with this arrow. Can you see?
Yes.
Now we have sent an information to the museum. now we can
Absolute.
label this.
But 9 months before.
They receive and manage information from depositor. Okay.
I'll give you a ring later. Once we
You have it still?
Sorry, Miss, it's talking to me. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay. Can we go on?
Yes.
You see what we have done up to now? You see it still?
Yes.
Now, go ahead with the museum pool. After we have received this information,
I think we lost again.
so you have it again here.
Yes.
I have now added a new task to the museum pool. And this new task was consult checklist. For example. After this, we prepare information and send it to the depositor. You click here, you click on the symbol, then it automatically generates a task. You can write. For example, here we have prepare information. Send it to depositor. Okay. And from here, we make an arrow to this pool. So here again, we can say depositor is receiving information and so on. I will not further make details here, but I go back to the museum. After this, we have to decide if this object will be accepted by the museum or not as a donation. So as next thing, we have a decision here. You see it?
Okay.
And we have here two errors. Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me still?
Yes. 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 There.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. You know, I'm working now more or less on the fly. I make here annotation, object accepted.
We have 5 people. Excellent. Well done. Very nice.
In the end.
In the end, yeah, but at the beginning we work. Okay, if you ask me, we'll have fun. Yeah, I need to.
Oh, well, okay then.
Ah,
Some
sorry.
personal belongings.
I need to talk with Gabriel. Yeah, couldn't find him. Because he has a lot of responsibility in back. They have a lot of information there.
Okay.
With the Brazilian group that he was working with, but as Gabriel moved to Canada, and I tried to have him at the meeting today, but he couldn't be here. And didn't manage to have a talk and for him to pass I have some topics, but for instance, he has a draft for a survey about yeah. And
I think
one of the
we
things that I want to
stopped to hear again.
Yeah. I'm going to my hotel. And then I will walk. You are going.
I can hear yet.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Yes. That's the last time I reconnect. I think I'm already at the end of my presentation. And you see now this part of the diagram which begin where this object entry begins.
Yes. Yeah.
I hope it was to some extent clear.
Let's go.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, they asked me. Alexandre was talking. Alexandre Matos was talking to me. I just giving an answer. Sorry. I'm
Okay, no problem.
hearing.
Yes. Now I have already finished. I think this gives you an impression how this tool can be used and why we are using this. So here you can really design the workflow, the process in your museum. Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
Professor Koch. I take the occasion to say hello. Yeah, I jumped in a bit abruptly. I was in the plenary session. I was talking, actually, I was a speaker.
Okay.
But I am rather interested in museum processes because I am working at the Photo Consortium, which is an European aggregator. And indeed, my background is not about museums or archives. I'm more on management and other stuff. But indeed, for my thesis, I am hopefully soon going to work on a case here in Tuscany of cultural institution which would really like to, you know, take the train of the digital transformation. And while I am not acquainted yet with these people, I haven't met them, only my professor told me, hey, they wanted to do this, we have to study a sort of digitization plan for them. So I don't know anything about these people. What I understand is that certainly they are in a very, very early stage, no? So I believe that while most people can think that digitization for museums is about digitizing collections and putting them online, I instead think that perhaps the very first step is to digitize or to include digital technologies in the museum's processes. Because I don't really see a point if in digitizing the collections, if everything else is done manually or not with the appropriate tools. Because I think we really need to take a sort of holistic approach, no, to the whole thing. Otherwise, you know, it's like, you know, a process that has some parts done in one way and others in old-fashioned style, and I don't think it works. So for this reason, I just jumped in this working group, and yeah, if you don't mind, perhaps I can send you an email if you allow me. I would like to ask you for some documentation to support a museum that is working old style and that wants to really start becoming more modern and to start the digitization process, which is not only digitizing the collections, I believe. Don't know, perhaps I'm wrong.
No, it's okay. But first you have to make a concept. And what you have shown, this tool from me now, I cannot hear you.
Sorry, it's because I put them in mute because they were calling me. I have to leave soon, but I'm very interested in participating. So I can send an email too, it's not a problem, and contribute, because I will do this kind of implementation for them. I know how to do to object, but not to species. And I have another working group that is parallel, that was zoology, that they want to take the standards and try to put it in this to make a standardization. So I want you to make this kind of adapt to my museum that have already zoology collections and another working group. So because this for me is very interesting. So
okay, so you have my email address, I think so.
I think so. It was in the CIDOC web page, and your working group. I think there is the email there.
Yes, so can you approach me directly if you want to become part of the working group? You are welcome, of course.
Okay. Thank you. I really have to leave now. Sorry.
Okay. So I say also good. We conclude this session probably now. Yes.
Okay. So, sorry. Thank you so much for the share this knowledge.
Okay.
Okay.
It was a pleasure for me.
Thank you. Okay. Bye for everyone.
Okay. So bye.
Bye.
Thank you, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Bye. Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. It's the last time that we talk now. Bye.
Bye.